위, 위. 위 뭐지? 그다음에 위. 우리는 연구를 했다. 생각이 안 나. We partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs and who's going to earn the. When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting for a job that was even more demanding. One characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of scope in all kinds of. When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting for a job that was even more demanding. It wasn't good looks, and physical health, and it wasn't IQ, and it was great. And it wasn't social intelligence. It wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was great. When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting for a job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teach 7th graders math in the New York City public school. Like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests. I gave out homework assignment. When the work came back, I calculated graders. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have stratospheric IQ scores. Some of my smartest kids weren't doing so well. And that got me thinking, the kinds of things you need to learn in 7th graders math, sure, they are hard, ratios, decimals, the area of a parallelogram, but these concepts are not impossible, and I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn the material if they work hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective, from a psychological perspective. In education, the one thing we know how to measure best is IQ. But what if doing well depends on much more on your ability to learn quickly and easily. So I left the classroom and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings. And in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadet would stay in military training and which would drop out. We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to which children would advance farthest in competition. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhoods, asking which teachers are still going to be here in teaching by the end of the school year, and of those who will be the most effective improving learning outcome for their students. We partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is gonna keep their keep their jobs, and who's gonna earn the most money. in all those very different contexts, uh, in all those very different contexts, one characteristic as a one characteristic emerged as a significant predictors of success. It wasn't, and it wasn't social intelligence. It wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was great.